Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you're tuning in from. This is the BS Buddies podcast where we talk about anything from roadkill to surviving against human sized ducks. Um, my name is Joe. That is Ian. Ian, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to be talking about our top three favorite vacation destination spots, places that we would like to go. Are we doing them in a particular order, or would you just like to list off three places you want to go?
Doesn't really matter to me. I can go
All right.
first since I got mine written down. Uh, uh, my first one, and I don't know exactly what I do besides one specific thing, but I want to go to the UK. I've met some buddies through gaming. Um, I want to say almost 10 years ago by this point. Yeah,
Wow.
actually 8. About 8. When I was in high school, I met like 10 of them online and we had this big group. And I want to go meet at least one of them in particular who I'm still really close with. But I've also heard of like backpacking through Europe and I'd kind of like to try that. Like start in the UK, meet up with him, and then go into other parts of Europe backpacking.
Just stay away from the eastern part of Europe.
Yeah, that one's
some
gonna be spotty.
some less than happy hiking times. You might set off a couple of mines or something while walking through the woods.
I mean, I'd like to go to London and like see Big Ben and like go to all the museums. I'm a big history person, so like just going to museums in general. Um,
Fair.
I think that would be
I would,
awesome.
well, I'll tell you this: the sites are very cool. Their roads will infuriate you. They have no consistent driving basis that I can foresee over there. It's like a mad dash of wherever you're trying to go. I'll warn you
Seem
about that now.
kind of seems like Wisconsin as a whole. Like as soon
I
as I
swear to
move,
God, there's no such thing as a straight road in the UK.
as soon as I moved to Wisconsin, I learned like how dangerous parking lots are because people do not pay attention. Like I've been almost backed into so many times because people just don't look. And for those of you who don't know, I'm 6'4". It's kind of hard to miss me.
It's true. He's way up there. You walk by him. Holy shit.
But I got the UK. What would you want to say? Your one of
Sure, I will
yours?
pop right in. I will start in. The very first place that I'd like to visit, Germany. Specifically near the Cologne area, or Köln, however it's pronounced in Germany. I don't know. Not
You just got to yell it and like
just
speak
sound
gibberish.
very angry. Sound very angry when I do it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how German works. They're just throwing up on each other all the time. I don't know if there's a particular reason for this one other than I have Germanic heritage and
Same
I
here.
got to see a little bit of the southern German countryside when I was at Spangdahlem Air Force Base briefly, and it was very beautiful, very nice rolling green hills, so I'd love to go there also just to try the beer so that I can say, I've had German beer.
Solid.
That's one of those ones that, I just love to see it.
Um, I guess I'll go into my next one, which you have been to this country for way extended period of time, way longer than you would have liked to be there. Thank you, COVID. Um, for me, I would like to go to Japan, and that probably sounds like every white American out there. But like, yeah, I'd want to see Tokyo just because I mean, big and neon-y.
Tokyo.
But like, the main thing I would want to see is like the temples. I don't know how that works, but like, if you can just go there. But I'd like to go there, and whenever I think of Japan, I think of like cherry blossom trees,
The cherry
and I
blossom
just
trees, yep.
like I'd want to go there during because I think they have like a festival, like a cherry blossom festival where
Sure
like
they
all
do.
of them bloom.
They got festivals for like everything over there.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd like to go and like see all the cherry blossoms like blooming. Just see the history because I don't know too much about the history of Japan, except if you're talking about when the U.S. got involved. Then yeah,
Knock knock. It's the United States
I'd also
with
like to
guns
go. I'd
and
like to go
boats,
see.
gunboats.
I'd like to go see those two places, like just to see like how they. I wanted to say handle it, but I don't know. I think that's the nicest way you could say
How do
that.
you handle living here?
Not quite what I meant, but like I don't know, just the history around that.
That's fair.
But yeah,
That
mostly
was
just
actually going to be my number two as well.
like those specific cities,
Well, not specific cities, no, but
but Japan.
Japan, yes, was my number two. You are correct. I did spend several months on Okinawa, so it wasn't Japan proper, but it's pretty close. You know, the culture is very similar. And I will say that one of the coolest things that blows my mind over there is when they have those festivals or like flea markets and stuff, they shut off like whole sections of a city street. And it's really cool because it's everything is real foot traffic friendly. And then the second thing is how insanely packed everything is in one place because, you know, they're an island country, so they build up, not out.
Yeah.
So you find some of the most random, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Attractions, entertainments in the most bizarre location. For example, I'll give you this quick story. Is we were down in Naha in Okinawa and we kept seeing these signs everywhere that advertised this like zoo apparently that was nearby and we're like, "Sweet, we want to see what this is." And so we kept following these signs, walking down the road and finally we get to the zoo and we go down a flight of stairs into like the basement of one of these giant building complexes and we walk in and just immediately there's an owl sitting on this perch to my right. Like I've stepped from the concrete jungle straight into like the rainforest. They've got like wooden logs holding up the supports and all that. I'm like, okay, so definitely a themed place. And I look at the owl and I was like, okay, that's a stuffed owl. There's no way this is having and this thing just like oot, over at me, and swear to God, I almost jumped out of my skin. Like it looked at me, and I was like, "This is just a zoo in somebody's basement." And it was. They had a capybara down there, these giant parrots. It was wild. So you will definitely see some strange sights when you go.
Don't feel bad about not knowing if it was a real owl or not. I had an even worse blunder going to a zoo.
Oh
Um,
no, monkey throw shit on you.
no, I mean in like that regard, not seeing an animal when you really should.
Oh
We
yeah,
walk
that's
into
fair.
this exhibit, and you know, like there's a background, and I thought this animal was painted on it. It was standing so still, so I'm like, oh, maybe it's around the back because there was another way you could look in. And everyone's like yelling at me, like, Joe, what are you doing? Why are you going around? And like I look and then I like see one of these animals walking in, and then I walk back and now they're both moving. It was a freaking giraffe. Not an owl, not a like a 2 foot owl. It was like a 13-foot giraffe that I somehow did not recognize was right in front of me.
That's pretty impressive. Hey, that goes to show you how well nature's camouflage works. You know, that's what those brown spots
I'm glad you
technically are.
didn't.
They're
I'm
camouflage.
glad you didn't rip into me for that because a lot of people did.
That's fair. I probably would have missed that too. I'm just sometimes.
But speaking of animals, going to the my third place, and we thought about moving here, but then I think, oh, animals, Australia, Australia.
Yeah, the animals there will kill you. That's
Um,
you're getting the most exotic of exotics with Australia.
so I have another buddy who lives there. Like I just met him online, and uh, we've talked about. We've tried to record stuff before. We got it to work once, but it's like there's a 15-hour time difference. So
Yep.
like he's like, "Hey, I got some time in the morning." I'm like, "It's 10 p.m. at night," and then I got to start recording, or vice versa. It's like, "Hey, I can wake up at 6 a.m. if you got time in your evening, but I'm gonna be tired." Um, but I want to see like the reefs. I want to see Sydney. I want to go to that famous opera house or orchestra theater.
Yep. Sydney Opera House, I think it is.
Thank you. Um, And then like the bigger places like Perth and I don't know. I just want to look around and my buddy has said like if you don't try to harm them, they won't harm you. But at the same time, they have like wolf spiders and they can only
Oh,
get like 8 feet long. I mean, I'm probably over exaggerating, but definitely like
well, wolf
the
spiders.
smaller ones can be the size of your head.
That's terrifying. Camel spiders too. Oh God, no. No, thank you. I don't need any of that in my life. I don't need no exotic animals. I'd like to stick to where the animals won't try and kill me just walking out my sliding door. Thanks.
Yeah, like I mean, I'd be like, yeah, I could kind of deal with it. Like I can take precautions outside, but I've seen way too many videos where these spiders get inside your house and are just on your wall, and I can't deal with that. Especially when you
Yeah,
can't have firearms, I can't
yeah.
do
Oh,
that.
God, I need at least a machine. You ever seen the one where they take the broom and they mush the spider and then all the little babies start running out of it?
No, then no, I really don't want to move there.
Yeah, hell no. That's like flamethrower material worthy right there. Just whoosh.
But yeah,
Oh.
love to visit, um, and not to live. I don't think.
Well, for my final vacation spot, it's difficult to choose between these two, but I think I would have to go with France. I want to go visit France, specifically the Belleau Wood area, which is where the Marine Corps was said to have gotten its famous nickname Devil Dog from during the First World War from the Germans. Simply because the story goes is that they charged across open wheat fields into machine gun fire, and those 100 yards across or whatever. And so it's kind of considered one of those tradition things in the Marine Corps. Like if you ever get the chance to go over to Bellewood, France. So I would kind of love to see that. I think it would be interesting just to see a battlefield that's like 100 and some years old. But that's
I'd
because
like
I'm a big nerd who's a history buff.
I'd like to go to the Louvre.
The Louvre.
I think that's how
Go
you
see
say
the
it.
the Louvre. Oh no, it's French, so you have to add like 15 more vowels and act like you have a huge loogie in the back of your throat as you say it. The Louvre. That's French language
Oh,
for you.
thank you. I needed that
You-
French lesson for the night.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Add extra vowels and have a loogie in your throat when you talk. That's French, baby.
I guess we kind of did like um countries that instead of like here in the US, there's a lot of places in the US I would like to visit, so we might just have to
There is. Yep.
do a specific video for that if you guys want to hear that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but I think it's time for quotes.
Yes, it is.
Um, is yours funny? Because mine's funny.
Yes, mine's funny.
Okay. I'm going to top
I'm
yours, so you go first.
I'm glad we coordinated this so perfectly and didn't at all happen by accident. My quote. God, I
Court.
can't. My quote. My
Get that
quote is
French
that
out
you
of you.
can't polish a turd. Yeah, I got that
Is
fucking
that your
French.
quote?
Yeah, you can't polish a turd. Kenneth Turnbull.
Mine comes from my future stepdaughter. She said it last
Oh.
week. And I
Oh
don't know
no.
the premise of the conversation. I had to do
Oh,
something, and Debbie was in the bedroom, and I just hear the little one say, "Mans do what mans are."
mans do what mans are. You know what? Never has more truth been spoken.
She did kind of correct herself, but I like the original rough draft the
Mans
best.
do what mans are. It's on the same energy as people don't think it be like it is, but it do.
It do be like it is. But I think that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Thank you for BSing with us, and we will be back next time with
Subscribe
something.
if you want to become a bud and throw us some ideas, suggestions, stuff you want to hear beat into the dirt that we endlessly talk about.
And you'll see us next time when, I don't know, what do we got planned?
We don't have anything planned. We never have
Okay,
anything planned.
perfect. We'll
Sweet.
figure it
See you
out.
guys next time. Take her easy.